Okay, so let's look at how you deal with percent yield. So this is just introduction to what percent yield is and a quick overview of how to calculate it. So a percent yield is where you're basically looking at the relationship between what you expected a chemical reaction to make and what it actually did make. So looking here, we see two numbers. How much you calculate it should make, okay, 4.67 grams, and actual yield. Because the thing is, chemistry, like life in general, is messy, where you don't always get what you expect. So this is what you expect to get, and this is what actually comes out of the chemical reaction. So a percent yield is basically saying what percent is this of what you were expecting to get. Sometimes you can actually get less than what you're expecting, which is what happened here. Sometimes you can get more than what you're expecting. Look at this example in number 2. Theoretical yield is what you're expecting. So theoretical yield and what you calculate that a chemical reaction should produce, these are the same thing. Okay, so theoretical yield being what you expect 6.94 grams. Like you do all your calculations, you predict it's going to be this much. Actual yield is what you actually got from the experiment. So in this case, you would get more than what you thought. So this should be over 100%. As in, the percent yield is going to be more than 100% because you got more than you were expecting. Here the percent yield is less than 100% because you got less than what you're expecting. Okay, and the same dynamics apply down there. Now, let's pull up a different version of the same paper that allows a little more space to work it out. And let's go through a quick calculation of how you figure out percent yield. So what you do is you want to follow this formula. Percent yield is equal to actual yield, so take a moment to write it out, there we go, divided by theoretical yield. Okay, this way if you got less than what you're expecting, it'd be under 100%. If you got more than what you're expecting, your yield should be over 100%. Okay, now if this is, we give just a decimal, you could take this divided by this, so we need to times it by 100% in order to turn that decimal into a percent. Okay, so, well, let's look at how that applies here. In this case, your actual yield is 4.02 grams. So in this particular case, I'm going to put 4.02 grams on top. Theoretical yield is what's expected. That's the 4.67 times 100%. And then we grab the calculator and start calculating this one. So 4.02 divided by 4.67 times 100. There we go. So first of all, 3 sig figs. We'll pick 3 sig figs here. So that equals 86.1% yield. Okay, and I'll box the answer. What this is saying is that what we got is 86.1% of what we were expecting to get. Okay, now let's look at the other example. Okay, so here we're going to follow the same formula. We're going to take actual yield divided by theoretical yield. And times it by 100%. Okay, so when we do that, we're going to take our actual yield, 7.12 grams, divided by our theoretical yield of 6.94, and times it by 100%, and do it on the calculator. Okay, let's see, can you see that on the screen? Yeah, that should be visible. Okay, so 7.12 divided by 6.94 times 100, and there it is. So we're going to call this 102, well, 3 significant figures, so 103% yield. Okay, so there's a nice little quick example of how to do percent yield calculations. Now, those are the first 2 questions. Here's those same 2 questions plus 2 more down here at the bottom to practice with. Take a moment, pause the video, and practice with these 2 questions. All right, now that you've paused the video and practiced with these questions, let's see if your answers match up with what I have for these two at the bottom. Okay, actual yield divided by theoretical yield, actual yield divided by theoretical yield. And of course, make sure to times the decimal that came from this by 100%. Now, okay, 5 significant figures means 5 significant figures. 4 significant figures means 4 significant figures. All right, there's your introduction to percent yield calculations. Happy studies.